A very beautiful hello and a warm greetings from Kudos International Latte Show. Here I am your host, Dr. Supriya Kumaravelan, and I welcome you all for this beautiful awakening and a very inspiring show because we are having today a great guest. A very warm greetings to my guest who is gonna be there in few seconds. And if you want to know who is that dynamic personality, check it out. Here the guest arrives, Dr. George Ackerman. Welcome, Dr. George. It's been a great pleasure to host you, to meet you, and also to greet you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you and the audience for giving me the opportunity today. I don't know how to follow that amazing introduction. It was beautiful, so thank you again. I appreciate it.
Well, Dr. George, as I have said in the beginning of the show, that this show is going to be super awesome, super amazing because your life journey is going to transform today millions into a very positive, you can say, personalities and a very positive ambience who have lost interest to lead the life because of their disease or disabilities. So, without any pause, without any delay, Dr. George, everybody is so eager to listen about your inspiring life journey. So I pass my code, the dice in your code. Kindly enlighten the world with your inspiring and very motivating life journey.
Thank you for your time again. Thanks everyone for joining us live and recorded. Unfortunately, I had a great career before I was thrown as a caregiver into the field of Parkinson's disease and dementia. On 1/1/2020, my mother sadly passed due to Parkinson's. She had it for about 15 years, but the last 4 years was the toughest as she struggled, and I was her caregiver. When you become a caregiver, you don't really have a plan. You don't take a course and you just get thrown into it. And I tried my best to do anything I could to care for her, to make her comfortable, but the disease unfortunately won. We started together for Sharon.com. Again, it's not a company, it's just me, a son who lost their best friend, his mother, due to the disease. And it was really just to be about my journey as caregiver and my mother's memory, because I never wanted her to be forgotten. I felt that she had a lot of life left, and she was only 69 when she passed. And it was all because of Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease is an odd disease, or different, treats every single person differently. So what my mother went through doesn't mean another person will go through that, which is why it's been so tough to find a cure. But I learned last year, 2023, that we had approximately 1 million people in the US with Parkinson's. It's the fastest growing neurodegenerative disease. It's a disease of the mind. So it really affects the mind, the body, everything. And today we realize there's also 10 million people around the world with Parkinson's. So I decided just a few months ago to make it about everybody. So I feel like we're all family in this fight. There's only going to be a cure if we also can reach people who do not have Parkinson and people who are not in the community of Parkinson, because it can really happen to me. It could happen to anybody. There's no scientific data right now as to why people get Parkinson. But again, it is unfortunately a degenerative disease. So what I did is last year, I found out about something called the World Parkinson Congress, and they meet around the world literally every 2 years. Last year it was in Barcelona, Spain. I couldn't attend live, but I was able to really watch it virtual. And I found out that, again, there's people that's around the world now suffering from this. So I was able to luckily interview about 500 people throughout the world. So one thing that is nice, because we're actually live, in India, is I actually interviewed people from Iceland, from France, Spain, Italy, and most importantly, India. So I actually interviewed groups in India for Parkinson's awareness. And the reason I do that is I feel that people need a voice, like we're doing today talking. The only way we're going to find a cure around the world, not just in the United States, is if we continue the discussion. So again, it's again an honor to speak to you, not just because of my advocacy, but because we're reaching India and other countries. And again, we're on this fight together.
This is really incredible, Dr. George. The way you are doing your job, your profession, which is so noble. And thank you so much for this greatest, I can say, very inspiring life journey, which you have shared with us just now back. And yes, I can say and I see that still people need to be aware of dementia and Parkinson's disease, because most of the people are unaware what exactly it is. And when there is a not any clarity, there will be a lot of confusions about this disease. So Dr. George, besides thanking you, I want to know, kindly enlighten our global spectators, global listeners who are listening to you today live on multiple platforms, what exactly is Parkinson's or dementia? Because we don't know much about this. So kindly share, enlighten the world with your greatest, deepest value added knowledge.
Sure, thank you. And Parkinson's disease, again, is a neurodegenerative disease. So basically, my mother, for many years, was able to live a regular, independent life, but all of a sudden, her left arm became stiff. So she had trouble using her left arm. It also causes things like dystonia, which is the curling of the toes. She had internal tremors. So, as you can, if you're aware of Michael J. Fox, who's a very, very famous celebrity from the movie Back to the Future, he's changed his world for advocacy by starting the Michael J. Fox Foundation and being a leader and a hero to me to lead the way for advocacy for finding a cure. So basically, he has the external tremor. So if you see Mr. Fox, you might see him kind of shaking uncontrollably. That's a sign of Parkinson's. Also, when it gets this 5 stages, they say when it deteriorates the mind. So as this progresses, the disease. It's very hard to slow down. Today, we have a lot more research where exercise, diet, things of that nature actually can slow the progression. So there are people that are living great lives with it. And also the problem is some people, like my mother, do get late onset dementia, and that's what causes delusions and hallucinations. And that's really frightening, because imagine sitting in the room with a loved one or friend or anyone, and they just don't know if the person sitting to the left of them is real. They don't know if that person is alive, if they're there. My mother, unfortunately, had a bad reaction when they changed her medications towards the fourth year before she passed. And when that was occurring, I actually had to rush over to her home at 4 a.m. because she thought there were people inside her home harming her. So she was moving her furniture out. We had to rush to the emergency room. But when I went back to her home to get her clothes and things, she had Post-it notes around the room, and on the Post-it notes stated names of people who were no longer with us. They might have been deceased or animals. And she really, at that point, couldn't comprehend, because of dementia, who was actually really reality and who wasn't. And those things are heartbreaking for anyone to see. So that's a little bit about the cause of dementia. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I only talk about my experiences with my mother and what she went through. But those are just a few of them. But it's really things like gait, stiffness. We mentioned the curling of the toes and also tremors, but again, it really affects everything. I mean, my mother loved fitness. She used to walk a lot, but in those last 4 years, she went from walking to a cane, from the cane to a walker, and then from the walker to a wheelchair, and finally bedbound. And you can see, unfortunately, how quickly, too, the disease can take a hold of an individual.
This is really, really great. And the way you told about a story in the form of, you can say, in the form of a roller coaster, the high and low waves, which the people are still need to get awareness. As you said in the form of your story, like your mother about dementias and other things. And here I see, you can say, Together for Sharon. I think it's dedicated to your mom. So I really appreciate your work, Dr. George, which you are doing and which you are continuing for the betterment of the society and humanity. Yes, our society still needs to be educated, to be aware before they get misguided or misdiagnosed about these dementia and Parkinson's disease. And once, before I go for the next question, Dr. George, we are getting beautiful showers of comments in the form of praisals, you can say motivation. There is so much good work being done to bring Parkinson's to light. The Joyful Path says, dementia is not just curling of the toes, dementia causes the neuromuscular system. So thank you so much, global audience, for always motivating us and cheering us. We are getting a lot of comments in the form of your love, motivation, and inspiration. So thanks. Keep doing that. Well, Dr. George, this journey, as I stated, it is going to be super awesome and it is going super amazing with knowledge, with a lot of depth knowledge, you can say, the deep knowledge, which we are still aware and how we need to educate, how the humanity has to educate and society has to grow up with the diseases. And we cannot misguide it, or we cannot just ignore these diseases. We have to fight with our spirit. And definitely the way you said about your mom and your mother's story, it's really really inspiring. And trust me, you are inspiring today millions who wants to improve upon themselves and who wants to be the better version of themselves. Thank you, Dr. George, for enlightening the world with your great knowledge. Awesome this
Thanks.
is.
Yeah, and I also learn every day from everyone I meet. That's why I do what I do. Unfortunately, I want a cure now for the other individuals who are suffering. I don't want anyone to go through what my mother and I have. It's too late for us, but not for so many more. And that's the sad part. Again, is I lost my best friend. But there's so many relationships like you and the viewers today. I want to thank the people commenting and listening and sharing this. But I feel like, again, this is not just about a podcast. We become
Yeah.
family in the fight. I don't ask for money. I do not accept money. I'm not, it sounds sad in 2024 where people think we're a little cuckoo for wanting to help people. And I don't, sadly, a lot of people just want, we don't want anything. We just want people to know, number one, they're never alone. Number two, there's people like me out there fighting, and we send our love and support. And as I usually end a lot of my talks with, is that I'm just getting started in the fight. So even though I've been doing it for some time, every day is a new fight. We have to, any day I feel tired or I don't want to, advocate or come on a show, I look at my friends that I've become who have been diagnosed with Parkinson's, or caretakers who, like me at the time, literally felt like alone. I mean, I felt stress, I felt burnout. I didn't know how to tell my mother. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But if people out there in the world know that they're not alone, I think that's very important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is really true, and I really respect you, Dr. George, for your work, your credibility towards your goal, mission, and vision. And when I was searching about Together for Sharon.com, I was, very amazed the way you stated about Parkinson's disease and dementia. So this has led me to ask one question from you. After going through a hurdles, a lot of challenges in your life, and which is really great to give you motivation to work and taking your mother as a role model and inspiration. What is Dr. George's mission and vision in his life? So kindly enlighten the world with your vision and mission. Everybody is so eager to listen to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things very positive happening. We just started next month, actually this month, a support group. It's for anyone around the world. It's completely free and confidential for those for support. So I'm not diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I no longer have a loved one who's alive. So I felt kind of lost. I was in this world alone because I don't fit in. So we decided to start for completely free a support group on Zoom through the PSP Awareness. It's a big organization in Canada, and we'll be allowing, it's for anyone who's lost a loved one due to any disease, just a place for support and to talk. I didn't have that when I was going through it. Togetherforsharon.com is up there. I mean, I thought it would be like 5-10 people would look at it. If you look in the very bottom, it's hidden, but there's been over 30,000 people viewed the website in the last few years, which means a lot, because it means, if we reach just one person today and they learn about dementia, Parkinson's, and remember my mother, then we've done something great. But on the website are a lot of resources free. I hate to have to keep saying free, but it is. Even the interviews, the 500 I've done, we're going to probably turn into a book. But if you go to Together for Sharon and click interviews, you'll be able to share your journey and also see the others. And I like that because every morning I wake up, a new story shows up, a new interview with an individual or foundation or someone, a caretaker, and it kind of encourages me that I'm doing this to help share their journey. Togetherforsharon.com is also something I wish I had when I was going through caretaking, because there's so many resources that they're all over the place. So what I did is I put them all together under a link called Partnerships, and it's just organizations. The other day I did a little podcast, interviewed a gentleman who has a t-shirt company, and it's all Parkinson sayings. Well, it's not just about t-shirts. Well, he actually, the money he makes from those t-shirts supports him to be able to get medications for Parkinson's. So, we're really, again, just changing lives. We don't accept money or donations. We have a link for donations, but it goes to organizations like the Michael J. Fox Foundation, the Parkinson's Foundation, American Parkinson Disease Association, my family, and people who's donating have donated about $16,000 in the last few years to research for a cure. I've also been honored to be able to interview United States representatives. We had really history is just made in December of 2023. The United States Congress has just passed, House of Representatives passed the national plan to end Parkinson's disease. And in a way, it's sad, but it's positive. But it's the first time in U.S. history we're going to finally have a bill to help people who are diagnosed and caretakers. And that's frightening that it's taken since 2024. It's going to the Senate now. So I urge, if you're in the United States, to contact your senator to help support the bill. But I was able to be a part of that, and it's very exciting. And tomorrow, ironically, I'm going to meet Michael J. Fox. So that's like an honor, because he's a hero to me. If anyone's listening, if you watch Back to the Future, famous show Family Ties, and all these amazing, he's just a true inspiration, not just celebrity, but also he's got Parkinson's, and he released a movie last year about Parkinson's. And what I admire about him is he's opening up so many people's eyes to Parkinson's that would never have, and I can't reach that many people. I mean, today it's amazing that you've given me an incredible opportunity to reach individuals in India and throughout the world. But obviously, he's going to reach a lot more. So I'm going to be filming that live, I hope, on my social media tomorrow morning. You'll see me get a chance to speak. I'm going to try and tell him a little bit about Together for Sharon, but I might get thrown out because it's not really, it's an autograph thing for Back to the Future.
Exactly, been the same. So, Dr. George, this is really, really great to know about your mission and vision, which keeps your goal, very, very firm, very, very shining. And when you are reaching and approaching towards your goal, your mission, definitely you are serving the humanity. And that's what I can say, and I can feel from your mission journey. And I really, really appreciate your work. And I really congratulate you and wishing you for a very bright vision and mission which you're doing for Parkinson's disease and your dementia, and you are doing serving the humanity. So thanks to you for your great work, Dr. George. Keep it up. Well done.
Thank you. And again, to your audience, if it wasn't for all of you, I don't know some days how I keep pushing, but I tell everyone who's diagnosed and caretakers to keep fighting and never give up. So I have to
Yeah,
I always also say that Parkinson's disease doesn't take a break. So why should I? So that's why, again, we have to keep fighting together.
definitely, definitely. And yes, moving ahead with this beautiful awakening journey, which I should say, besides inspiring without knowledgeable. And I want to ask now the very, very exciting question. Dr. George, what is your opinion about our platform, Kiddos International, founder and CEO, Matt Allen?
I think it's a wonderful area to give people like me an opportunity to share a story. Not just, I'm located in Florida in the United States, but it's important to reach the world. So I think what you're doing is incredible. What your listeners, of course, I'll share this around the world to the Parkinson's community. And I just, again, commend you and thank you. Before I got into advocacy, I'm a police officer, reserve, and an attorney. And my PhD is in criminal justice. And I'm still am, but I'm an advocate for family members of homicide victims, African American mothers who lost their loved one due to crime. A lot of times I correlate a little bit the victims' families who lost their loved ones in the criminal justice system in the U.S. and around the world, because a lot of time they're voiceless. They don't have a voice and they're forgotten. And sadly, I equate the Parkinson's community in some ways the same, because until this year, with the national plan to end Parkinson's going to the government and hopefully passing, they were really just a forgotten voice. So by your organization and you allowing me time, it's going to definitely make a big impact, positive, change the world. But again, we have so much more work to do.
Thank you so much for these beautiful, so elated words, motivational words, and definitely we are going to boom up in our life. We are going to support humanity the way you are doing, Dr. George. And I really respect you for your great work, for your awesome work. Keep doing that because still our society, our humanity, people needs such awareness in their life, and still these diseases need to be not to be misguided or not to be ignored. Rather, we should create knowledge, we should create awareness the way you are doing, Dr. George. So I hats off to you, and I really, really, I'm so happy, I'm so glad to host you on this platform, Kiddos International Latte Show, for sharing such a beautiful, inspiring, and very important, very knowledgeable journey, which everybody needs. And here I would love to take a pause, and I want to draw the attention of my viewers, global spectators, and global audience. If you want to know any such knowledge or if you want to associate with Dr. George, kindly find him on LinkedIn or Facebook and make your journey a meaningful, a wonderful, a very, very inspiring and knowledgeable one. So before I go to and say goodbye to adieu to my global audience and to you, Dr. George, a beautiful, powerful message is waiting from your side. So kindly deliver the world with your powerful knowledge or message.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the main thing is to always have hope. People, again, like me, will be fighting for you. You're never alone, but I'm just getting started. But again, it's very important to understand that I think with everyone, with people in the Parkinson's community, with those outside, we all have a voice. So if we write to our legislators, I feel once this bill will be passed in the United States, it can be mirrored in every country. So UK, India, you can take that bill and mirror it so that they can get help and funding for those diagnosed with Parkinson's in your country. But again, right now, we have to, this is a global effort, international. This platform and your show, it's just, again, incredible for this. And again, just reach out. Some reason I've thought I'd have, again, one or two social medias. It's become like 8 or 9. And, it's just incredible. And it's all just me. We're not a company. We're not an organization. We're not trying to get anything except to remember my mother. And again, it's not a day, whether it's a holiday or, just something occurs in my life, positive or negative. I don't wish I could pick up the phone and give her a call, but because of Parkinson's, I don't have that opportunity. But I do want everyone else out there fighting the disease or doesn't have it, but, unfortunately could get it, to know that I feel strongly that a cure is coming. And everybody here could really make history by being a part of that, advocating. It's not just sitting back, but it's also speaking out, telling your legislators or friends, family, what Parkinson's is. And again, I don't want to end on a negative, because I think there's a lot of incredible positives coming. And it's been an honor not just to speak to you, but also to focus on India, some of the needs for the people in India who have Parkinson's and aren't getting the attention. Even in Africa, I was able to interview an individual from Africa, and they believe Parkinson's is witchcraft, which is, again, another whole hour of podcast, because that's the problem. Until we get the correct awareness out there, till we all share these talks, we're going to have pushback, and we can fight that and win in the end by finding a cure and ending this disease forever. So again, I just want to thank everyone. Make sure you know that I'm going to be out there fighting for you. I don't want anything in return except that you know that we send our love and support, and that, again, I won't rest till Parkinson's is gone from our planet.
Wow, this is so great, and so you can say incredible journey, very inspiring, very knowledgeable. And once again, Dr. George, thank you and much gratitude for coming to our show and inspiring everyone, sharing the knowledge, which is very, very important about Parkinson's and dementia, and of course, your great lessons which you have given from your life and your role model as your mother. So much deep gratitude towards her, the work which you are doing about togetherforsharon.com. So I would request my global audience and spectators and the listeners and the creators who are watching us now live, kindly go through sharon.com and make a change. Let's create miracles because creating miracles is in your hand and it is none there to be found. So kindly go through these websites, make your life the better one, create awareness, and just spread the positivity and say that we are the miracles. So thank you so much for watching this beautiful, amazing, and very inspiring show. Thank you, Dr. George, and thank you, my global audience. See you soon. Stay happy, hail and hearty. Bye bye for now.